Hi, everybody. Welcome to AITA Pod. I'm Danny Vega, joined by Jake Davis and Shannon D.
That's me.
I'm Jake that he spoke of.
Well, the energy is palpable from Jake over here.
I'm thrilled. I'm excited. I just drank some coffee.
That's
you did?
great.
Little bit.
It's 7:20.
Let's hope it kicks in. He's one of those. He's 7'9". He can
Is
do
that
shit
a
like
coffee
that.
right there?
It is
That whole thing's full?
full.
No.
No.
Oh,
My God.
I'm just kidding. I'm in a good mood.
wait, but can you have coffee that late and you
Yeah,
can
I'll
sleep?
be fine.
Oh my God, I
It
wish.
won't even, his digestive tract is 37 miles long. So by the time he's good.
It'll
It's
be
Wednesday.
his coffee for tomorrow
Friday
morning.
morning.
Oh, Friday morning.
Yeah, I'm like, you know how bears eat and like they're like before they hibernate and they're like,
Yeah.
I'm putting this in my tummy for later.
Oh, for
This is
later.
for tomorrow morning. No, but like as soon as y'all are out of here, I'm hopping straight on Baldur's Gate 3. So it's going to be a long night for me.
What is that video game?
Oh, we're not going to talk
How
about
late
that.
do you stay up?
Typically not past 11, but this is a doozy of a game. Anyway,
Shannon, you have been gone though, and and I was embarrassed to admit it, but I did finally admit that I might have actually kind of felt your absence.
He said he missed me.
No, I didn't. I never said I
no,
missed you.
you said it in the strangest way possible.
No, I avoided saying it for a good reason.
What do you mean?
I don't want to be too vulnerable. No, I missed you, Shan, but you were in Jers. And you smell like you were, but you seemed like you had a great time.
It was amazing. I had so much fun.
You were there a full month.
Full month, pretty much. Yeah.
And
4 whole weekends.
boats, old friends,
Yeah.
carnivals, fairs.
So fun. First I went and my dad's side of the family lives in this place called Medford Lakes in New Jersey. It's beautiful. It's just like these awesome lakes. Some of the houses are like really nice. And then some of the other ones are just like, regular old houses, kind of more like log cabin vibes in that area. It's really cool. And I was so mad at my dad because there's this thing called the canoe carnival. And basically on the main lake, I guess it is,
Carnival.
you have to enter into doing it. And people put like 10K into these floats, floats on canoes.
Literally afloat.
Yeah, they're like
Kinda satisfied by
super elaborate. And you need to have like an engineer get involved because they're literally on canoes. And
Just one canoe, or they
it's
can
like two.
Wow.
And then
2 canoes.
And then there's like 2 people at the back of the canoes, which is like technically the side of the float.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, going by, and some of them have like elaborate music. And so Saturday night is Mardi Gras, and that is like more for adults. And everyone goes out on a canoe, or I guess like kayaks or stand up paddleboards, and just like parties like out on the lake in your own canoe or like doubled up. And there was like this hot dog stand in the middle of it. And
on the canoes?
it like had its own, in the
I
middle
wasn't
of
on
the
board,
lake.
but now I want to go.
Okay.
It's so
Now I
fun.
wanna
It's
go.
literally so much fun. And the hot dog thing was playing hot dog, hot diggity dog, or
Wait,
whatever.
it had its own song, or the guy
it
was just
playing
singing
it.
and doing that
No, it was
dance?
playing it. It was a huge.
Okay.
It was like a huge float with like, I guess, a place to cook the hot dogs, and then one of those.
they're
pizza,
hot dogs.
One of those pizza. We'll warm them
Wait,
up,
there
I
was
guess.
pizza too?
No. You know those pizza oven things that you, the wooden board,
wood
that
fire
you go
pizza?
in.
The pizza paddle.
Yeah, so he had the hot dogs on a pizza paddle, and then he would like reach it out, and then you would take it like as you're canoeing by.
I didn't know this element of New Jersey culture, but I'm a huge fan.
So freaking fun. And then everyone's having huge parties along the lake, and oh my God, some of these houses are gorgeous, so elaborate. I ran into one of my high school friends that lives there, and so I was really mad at my dad because he never took us to this ever. Because then Saturday night is the canoe carnival, where it's all the canoes going by. And it was like, because I guess he didn't really care about it, but I was like, why wouldn't you bring your kids to something like this? And I was just feeling a little bit robbed of a nice experience that I could have gone with my cousins and stuff, but I got over it.
Okay, let's unpack that. So you got over it, but you were really mad at him for that?
I was a little annoyed, yeah.
Annoyed. Okay, so you weren't actually mad.
I was a little mad.
Because
I was just like, why the heck? Like, this could have been an awesome experience that I had my whole life.
Well,
The Mardi Gras is a newer thing.
But it wasn't like he actively denied
Exactly.
it of you.
Exactly.
It just-
I guess that just feels like a really high bar.
What?
Like you all of a sudden did something fun and then you're like, fuck you, Dad. Like we could have done this before and we didn't. Like it just seems like kind of brutal.
I wasn't mean to him about it or anything like that.
So you
But I can't have an emotion.
No, of course you can't have it. I'm asking you how you felt about the emotion.
I was like disappointed.
It was an impulse. Okay.
I wasn't like lashing out or anything. I was
You have betrayed me, Father.
Yeah.
You denied me my birthright.
You just felt that way for some time. Okay.
Yeah, and it kind of like almost until I found out that because the Mardi Gras night is the really actually fun night, the going out on the lake and stuff. And I guess that's a little bit of a newer thing. And my cousins only started going to that recently. So once I found that out, I was like, okay, Dad, you're off the hook a little bit.
Bold
here.
of you to have Mardi Gras in August.
I know, right? But I was just like, I wish I did this growing up too. It would have been a nice little thing because I love lakes. I love the bay. Like I love water like that where it's like a dock. And I always grew up by the ocean in the summer. And so as where I feel true, like, you know, joy is when I'm out on things like that. And I'm like, well, I could have been doing this as a kid. Instead, I was like on the beach and I didn't really like the beach growing up very much.
So what did you take away from the Jersey trip? I mean, you seem a little bummed to be back, can we talk about that? There's a vacation hangover.
Yeah, vacation blues.
Oh, is that what they call that?
I don't know.
Oh, you're just disagreeing with me. That's fair. I
That's
feel
just
like
what I've been calling them, but I've heard it before.
whenever you get back from a trip, especially just if it was long, it doesn't even need to be that good.
It's just sort of that exception of like, well, I guess this is it. This
This is my life.
All right.
And now, and you know, it's just like putting the things I put off, like I need to do, like doctor's appointments, and I have to go to the DMV. And I just have like emails to answer and like things to do and stuff like that. So it's just sort of like, ugh, God. And I just love the Jersey Shore in the summer, and I really took advantage of it and like went to a lot of the different shores where my friends were at, and went up to the Hamptons, went down to the Delaware beaches. Yeah, my aunt and uncle have a place up there.
And you went to the city at some point.
Yeah, because I was going to the Hamptons. So I went up and stayed with my aunt and saw one of my best friends.
There we go.
I'm sorry, which city are we in?
The city.
Yes, which one of the cities?
Just
Google
the.
Which
the
one of?
city.
Yeah, I'm
New
assuming
York.
Philadelphia.
Google the city.
I'm assuming Philadelphia.
Yeah,
the,
Philadelphia,
home
right?
of culture on
For
the
you,
East
yeah,
Coast.
we'll send you to Philadelphia. That's where you belong.
That's where
You would probably think it's acne on your back if you went to Philadelphia. Be like, oh, what is this? Little itch.
I
Well, I
love
did
when
go
you
to
go so
Philadelphia
big
as
with it that I'm like a cosmic titan.
And yeah, it was really fun. I just love all my friends from back home. It's just so nice to have people that love you and accept you and are really kind to you. It's really nice.
Yeah. Well, and I was going to tell you, I actually have a lake right by my house. So.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, Echo Park Lake.
No,
It's
I
pretty.
won't be going there.
Okay.
Will you be there?
I like to walk there a lot. Yeah, it's kind of
Nah.
Shannon, you'd love this. Instead of canoes, they have bad boats shaped like birds.
Yeah.
I have been out
They
on
have
those before.
Well, I won't go on the boat with nobody except my wife. That is, I'm saving those. boats
You've never
for-
done it before?
Never done it before. Well, I'll go on the the swan boats, excuse me, at another, because they're sort of franchise. I've seen them at other lakes, California lakes.
So you won't go on the Echo Park.
The Echo Park
boats.
swan boats are for my wife. This is something I've decided.
Okay. Well, who are you going to find to marry you?
Probably no one. I'll probably take that
Jesus.
shit to the grave.
Right.
So we're going to talk after the show. No.
I'll see you after class.
I'll see you after class, Miss D. Well, that's great that you guys have been on vacation. I've been in not vacation. I am actually dealing with, some of you guys know I have an elderly neighbor, Dora. And
Dora report.
Yeah, she gone from bad to real bad. And I think I figured out what's going on over there. She's always been like very, very, very eager to talk, and now it's just gone into like desperate to speak, to talk. And when she talks, she has very poor hygiene. So I light a candle and then I have her sit in the hallway, and then she monologues. She will basically talk. She'll just talk. I don't know how long she'll go. The first night I did this, I let her go an hour 20, and then I was like, I got to wrap it up.
So how do you get yourself in those scenarios? Like you're walking by or she knocks on your door?
Well, she has my number. So sometimes and this is the other thing. This is another new thing. She'll be like, where are you going? And I'm like, dude, I don't know where I'm going. First of all, like my life is chaotic enough as it is. I'm going to the donut store at 3 p.m. Okay. I don't want to say that out loud.
Yeah.
Like, why are you asking? And so like now, and she's not allowed to knock on my door, which to her credit, she does respect. That's why she has my number. I'm like, no touching my door. But she'll just sit. So this was the saddest one. She's like, when are you coming back? I'm like, I don't know, dude. It's Friday night. And then she waited for me on the freaking stairs. Oh. So as soon as I opened the front door to the building, she's like looking at me like, hi. And I'm like, no. And so like she got no one to talk to. She got nobody. And I didn't know this. Speaking of hangovers, I spoke to her for an hour 20 and I had nightmares. I woke up feeling like drained and emotionally exhausted. I had a nightmare that she like lived in my apartment with me. And God. Yeah. And I think I have figured out what's going on in that apartment, which is that her roommate is possibly like is undocumented possibly. And so he wants her gone, but he's afraid that anybody would get involved and then he'll get deported. So he's like in this trap with her, and then her like people have told her like, cause it's California. So they're like, don't leave. Cause if you leave, you'll be another homeless person and there's like nothing you can do.
Oh my God.
So
wait, is it her apartment?
No, it's his apartment and she pays him rent.
Oh, squatters' rights though. Probably wouldn't be able to get her out.
I have no idea how it all works, but
oy vey.
Super fun banter to open up the show with, but I feel for you, bud.
Yeah, that's probably just
that's
delete
a rough
it.
Spot.
All right, guys, we got one heck of an app for you today. We're gonna do a couple sub minis here. Thanks for submitting. Please submit on our subreddit, reddit.com/r/AITA pod. Here's a little quickie. AITA for disliking my mother-in-law. Last year, I-24F was trying to get pregnant with my boyfriend, 26M. We'd kept it a secret until we found out I was pregnant, and then a week later, I had a miscarriage. He told his mother I had a miscarriage and that I wasn't doing well mentally. And her response was, well, if you weren't trying to get pregnant while being unmarried, then you wouldn't be in this situation. And said it was my fault that we lost the baby and that I wasn't meant to have her son's baby. Moving forward to now, we're trying again and everyone knows. She told us the other day that she deserves to be the first one to hold the baby and to be there to help make final decisions on the baby. I told her no and that she wasn't going to be in the room either when they're born. She told me I was an asshole and was being disrespectful because that's her grandchild. And honestly, I'll keep her away forever if need be. AITA.
Toxic.
I don't like them. I don't like her. I don't like her. She sounds unpleasant, to say the least.
She is really up in this shit. Why would anyone be in the room?
Cool.
I don't like the phrase final decisions on the baby. That sounds severe and intense.
Why would you get final say?
Their name?
I'll decide if there's a circumcision.
And where the hell is your boyfriend in all this?
Classic, like over encroaching mother-in-law. Yeah. Look, I was talking with a listener about this, Morgan, and we were talking about like you marry the family. Like, and obviously this is kind of far gone because she's already pregnant, but you don't want this in your life. If you smell a mother-in-law getting in on you, like back away.
Yeah, no,
this is
can. If you curtail to any of these, it's never going to stop. You either create a great wall of boundaries here and you weather the storm, or if you give in on anything, you're never going to be rid of this energy. It's just going to keep getting worse.
Run.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, first of all, that is so terrible to blame a person that just had a miscarriage. Like,
oh God, no,
that's so awful.
I got caught up on final baby decisions. That part is just
horrid. Well, if you weren't trying to get pregnant while being unmarried, then you wouldn't be in this situation. So you're basically saying that the child didn't make it because they had a baby out of wedlock.
Yeah.
That's literally what she's saying. It's so fucked up.
AITA for disliking my mother-in-law. I think it's a no-brainer here.
Yeah, I cannot blame you for disliking
We don't like her either.
And I think you need to talk to your boyfriend and draw up some boundaries here. I would not want this woman in the delivery room when you're trying to bring your child into the world. Like that stress is going to go on to the baby and they're going to have difficulty too. And you don't want to have stress while you're giving birth. It's stressful enough.
Get your boyfriend to help.
And then she's going to name your kid? I don't think so.
No final baby decisions. There's no such thing as final baby decisions.
We're naming her Millie. M-I-L. All right. Another quick sub-mini. AITA for prank calling, a prank calling comedian on TikTok. OP, we appreciate the submish. We see the humor in the concept. It is pretty funny to prank call comedian, but we were a little concerned. We don't want to get too into it, but basically they like made different accounts and text messages or what is that? Like fake numbers to like engage with this person.
Basically burner
numbers.
Yeah.
And OP, I think, this person, you kind of threw them for a loop. So we're going to maybe say don't creep them out too much and maybe start your own prank calling channel.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Create that content. You seem to have a passion for it. I think that's a great way to, channel that because you definitely seem to know the field.
Yeah, I don't think you get a pass though, because like prank calling a rando business is a little different from prank calling someone really specific. Like, and it does start to bleed into creepy. Because you ain't just calling a random fish store. You know what I mean? And by the way, if you're going to prank call, fish store the way to go.
That's what I always say.
That is it.
Fish store.
It's an old Creole saying. If you're going to prank a fish store.
All right. And now a word from our sponsor. All right, folks, we got one heck of an F for you today. Our second story of the day, AITA for telling my 26F best friend 24F she needs to wear larger clothes. But we're going to start off on a wedding note. We love a wedding sitch. AITA for fainting at my aunt's wedding and ruining it. I, 21F, attended my aunt's wedding a few weeks ago. I wasn't part of the wedding, just a guest, which I was fine with. Before the wedding, everyone was advised to drink lots of water and to eat beforehand because it was going to be extremely hot that day. The wedding started at 5 p.m. and I had absolutely nothing to eat or drink up until then except maybe a granola bar because I was extremely busy that day. So when it was time for the wedding, I was already tired and hungry. About 30 minutes into the wedding, which was at a church, I was feeling uneasy and lightheaded, so I excused myself to go to the washroom. As I was walking, I got that feeling like I was about to collapse. Next thing I remember was coming to and seeing lots of people surrounding me, including the bride and groom. Apparently, when I fainted, I fell onto the photographer who was crouched down near me. Not only that, but he dropped the camera lens down and it broke. TBH, I don't even remember seeing the photographer, but I may have been too dizzy or something to have seen him. The wedding was a bit of a cheaper one, so the photog was a family friend of the groom's who only had one camera. The bride was in tears that she won't have any good pictures from her wedding. The photographer insisted that he could drive home and grab a different one, but it would take too long. The bride was mad, but I feel it was a bit harsh as it was extremely embarrassing already. Fainting never even crossed my mind as something that would happen at all. They did get pictures, but they were on cell phones. AITA.
Ooh, this is a tricky one. Have I talked? I have a history of fainting. Have I talked about that on the podcast?
Oh.
Yeah, it's. I've gone to the doctors for it. I've gotten it checked out, and it's basically just a circulation thing. I'm a bigger guy. If I stand up too fast, if I haven't been eating enough or whatever, it's possible that that lightheaded feeling when you stand up, that can happen for me. But it's like straight up just like a lights go out kind of thing, and I faint. But it's super embarrassing when it happens because you come to and everybody is hovering around you. You're immediately the center of all the wrong kind of attention, and everybody's like trying to determine if you're really, if you're really messed up, if you hit your head or whatever. So it's really jarring when you come back to. It's never fun. The part that's conflicting on this for me, because obviously primary concern is like, are you okay? Is this doesn't feel like a bridezilla moment. This feels like a fair response to an unfortunate thing that happened. Did the bride, maybe I'm missing something. Did the bride do anything that really went over the line aside from maybe being a little bit more pissed off than the situation deserved?
She was in tears. They only had one photographer. It's pretty, my understanding is standard wedding protocol is you got 2 cameras on that thing. That's kind of So even though it is kind of a...
Well, they did say it was a cheaper one.
Yeah.
Getting a discount, so it's probably like they couldn't afford another one. But yeah, it's tricky when you're just putting all your eggs into one basket.
It's wild.
Where, I mean, I can definitely, as the bride, see like being upset about it, but I don't think I would let it ruin my night. Because at the end of the day, your memories are the most important thing. And I think sometimes like people get that backwards and screwed up where they think that, the proof, the social media posts. And of course, I think pictures of professional photos of like an event that you're putting a shit ton of money into is really important just for life memories. But then if you're ruining the whole night, letting it ruin the night for you, then like, what's the point of even having the pictures? Because all you're going to look back on is like, oh yeah, I was letting this ruin my night.
I don't think we could throw any dings on the bride. I think, we could sit here and say, well, but whatever. She was in tears.
It's fair to be upset.
She's going to have the reaction she has. I guess what I thought was provocative here is, everyone was advised to drink lots of water and eat beforehand. So I'm a little bit weirded out as to why that would be advised. Like, is this a hot church? Was there any details I said about that?
I'm assuming my guess would be like a heat wave or it's hot outside or whatever. But I also feel bad for OP because her including that tells me that she was guilted about this, that there was like people were maybe telling her, did you drink enough water? Did you eat enough? And it's like, that sucks if you're being made to be villainized because like, even like I said, like it'll happen if I haven't been drinking or eating enough, but it does also happen to me when I have been doing those things. So it's not like this wasn't something that was in her control, especially if she doesn't have a history of it happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because it was going to be extremely hot that day.
Okay.
Was kind of in her control. She's a grown adult,
but she
failed to properly kind of hydrate.
That's not necessarily like, wait, did she say that she hadn't been doing those things?
She said she hadn't eaten anything all day except a granola bar because she was very busy.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say that that's blame. That it's just something that happened.
I don't know. She was kind of being irresponsible.
It's happened to me when I've eaten. It's like, it's not exclusive.
But it's very clear that she basically did nothing to prevent it and she only had a granola bar. So I think it's like pretty likely that that's what happened here.
Yeah.
Coffee Mom 23, top comment, YTA. You didn't mean to faint. That wasn't in your control, but by your own admission, you didn't eat or drink all day, even though you knew it was going to be hot and you'd been advised to take precautions. And you don't seem to feel particularly bad about breaking the photographer's camera lens when you fell because it was a cheaper wedding.
Yeah,
it's a soft YTA since none of this was intentional, but it sounds like you were negligent and then not particularly concerned about the consequences for other people.
That cheaper wedding comment did ring a little shitty to me. Like, why mention that in this situation?
I thought it was fair to ask. It made the stakes higher. I'm not dinging on that note, but it was maybe a little rude. But I don't know. It's like I said, it's my understanding standard wedding protocol is you got to bring two.
Oh, yeah.
For your own peace of mind, if anything, as a photographer, it's like a single point of failure. What are you, crazy?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, she can't help that she fainted, but yeah, she probably should have because they did advise to drink lots of water and eat beforehand. Obviously, I know she was really busy. Things happen. But yeah, maybe just be a little bit more apologetic. But, it's probably embarrassing, like she said. I would also want people to feel concerned for me. And I think she probably felt like shit that she wasn't getting some kind of like sympathy for the fact that she just like fainted and could have really badly hurt herself.
I guess in her defense, she was on her way to the washroom. She was trying to kind of deal with it. And then
it seems
fell
like
during.
Fainting never even crossed my mind. So it seems like this is something that's like new for her.
She didn't take it seriously. And she is pretty young. She's 21.
You might have not even known that this is, I mean, of course, everybody understands you can faint, but if you don't have a frame of reference for it happening to you before.
Yeah, I've never fainted before, so I wouldn't even think that. Like,
sneaks up on you. It's very fast.
Really? Not even when you look in the mirror? AITA for fainting at my aunt's wedding and ruining it. I actually am ready to give a pass because I do think this is a young person. And I think she's being honest that it didn't really occur to her. And it is kind of one of those classic tales where you have to kind of get humbled by the sun or heat.
Yeah. The immortality of youth is waning as you.
Yeah. Maybe she got a couple years left, but are we with that? I mean, are we going to call this? Honestly, I'm kind of like, dude, I honestly might throw a ding at the photographer. I feel like that's irresponsible because shit does happen. Forget fainting. You trip over someone because whatever,
right?
And you follow the lens. I honestly feel like that's on you, dog.
They do sound like a sketch character a little bit of just like, I only brought one camera. Oh, shoot.
You know?
My house is 3 hours away. Can you guys wait?
You can rent an additional camera for not that much money.
And also, just breaking the lens wouldn't hurt the memory card.
Yeah, fuck this photographer.
Yeah. Well, don't they
He's
have
like,
pictures?
No pictures now. That was where you break my shit, it's over. AITA for fainting at my aunt's wedding. I guess we're saying no assholes here.
Except for that goddamn photographer.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Here's Shano.
AITA for telling my 26F best friend 24F she needs to wear larger clothes. Me and my best friend have been besties for over 2 years, and we are the kind that nap together, eat together, share clothes, and all that. Anyway, we both are a little over 5 feet tall, and at the time, we both were roughly 125 pounds. So we were skinny and went out a lot and wore skimpy clothes, etc. Fast forward to past 5 or 6 months, we both at the same time began gaining weight out of nowhere rapidly. So now we both are around 160 and I am in large shirts and size 10 to 12 pants. Okay? I've accepted it. Just the writing is so funny. I don't mind being in large clothes, but here's the problem. She does mind being a large. She still wears her size small clothes, underwear, bras that don't clip shut. If you are thinking, is it that bad? Yes, it's that bad. She is in such deep denial that she's quote unquote fat. I prefer quote juicy. That she's literally embarrassed me at my 6-year-old's football game last week because she came to this children's football game in a size small black cocktail dress expecting positive attention. I don't know. So anyway, today she texted me and asked if I would sell her my retired rave outfits. Raves were in my skinny days, so they're all small and extra small. And I told her no, that she would look ridiculous. And she's saying I'm being mean. I told her that mean and realistic are not the same thing. She disagrees and is mad at me. Am I the asshole?
We're sorry. Danny has disconnected.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the best one for us to go over. And obviously, she's comfortable in these clothes. Like, she thinks she looks good. It could potentially be that she doesn't want to, be a size large as opposed to small. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's just a label. Like, she's wearing these clothes. She's feeling sexy and comfortable and confident enough to go to a children's football game like that. Like, I wouldn't even want to wear skimpy clothes to a children's football game. Like, even if I was in my correct size.
Yeah,
but she must feel confident.
Yeah, but I'm kind of, that just seems inappropriate.
Yeah, a cocktail dress.
That's what I mean. I think it's inappropriate, but she obviously feels good.
A friendship is going to be strained by the fact that these realities and perceptions of events are deviating here. And I do honestly think that, yeah, it wasn't really cool for her to say ridiculous, but like, I mean, Shannon, you just said it. That's none of my business. Do you feel that way about your friends? I mean, you slam me for not eating vegetables, but was that uncharacteristic? Of
me to slam my friends?
Not slam your friends, but keep it real.
Yeah, I keep it real with my friends.
Oh, but if there was a weight gain, you just would. That's one topic you wouldn't touch.
I don't think so. Someone like me that has like a slender build, like that would seem like really condescending and
so it's a specific thing. But you have told me that you've had girlfriends with like toxic boyfriends, and eventually you did level.
Yeah, but I think I did it in a more of like kind of asking questions, like
right.
Trying to understand the situation better. And perhaps if I really did feel like this was becoming a problem, I mean, the children's football game, like that would have probably been embarrassing to me if like my 6-year-old was there. But I don't know. I mean,
well, the kids aren't registering that. The kids aren't registering any of that. The adults there are.
I think the kids.
I don't think 6-year-olds are picking up on that's a cocktail dress at a football game. Like I don't know.
I think they're
that.
clocking that I can see that woman's body, you know, in a very defined way because it's undersized.
Yeah, I think she could have. And you know, look, these seem like these are like besties that literally do everything together. Like they nap together, they eat together, they share clothes, they gained weight at the exact same time. Like they seem like they're really, really close. And so maybe they have that relationship where they can be like really open with each other. Like I have some friendships where we can be more honest with each other and it's not like going to be a problem. But then I have other friendships where like I can't be that like bluntly honest with them, where it would have to be more of a sit down sort of thing. So I'm saying like maybe the better way to have gone about it would be like, you know, like because she did gain weight as well, she can come at it from like a perspective of like, this is happening to me too. And like, I have felt so much better in my body after wearing clothes that fit me.
That's fair. I statements.
Because hey, like I fucking believe that too. Like I have a lot of clothes where it was like, either I got the wrong size thinking I could fit into it or it was from a little while ago, but I always think I'm going to fit into it. And it's just like, buy the clothes that fit you. You feel so much better.
Yeah.
You're more comfortable. You look better in it. So, you know, maybe she could just say things like that to her and it wouldn't have come off as mean the way that what she did say, which was pretty mean, like calling it ridiculous.
I actually I'm hard switching on this. I actually read an article today that used almost this exact number. And it was that women 125 is like a number with women. It was like what a lot of women shoot for. And what the study found was that like plenty of men found like a much greater weight to be more attractive, which was like very normal. And that women were consistently like underrating themselves and being too harsh on themselves. And that just lodged into my mind because it's 125, which does make me think that this person is probably doing some projection here that, you know, obviously she has sized up and that's her right as well. But, you know, I don't know how ridiculous it is. I don't speak women's clothes. I have no idea. But like in the end, I think besides a children's football game, I'm like, that's her right. And she wasn't doing anything. Honestly, if this had happened at the children's football game, I could have come for her more. But it didn't. It was a call about the rave wear.
Yep.
And it's like, so you dropped it there.
She didn't come at it with concern of like, you know, I think it would be more appropriate in front of my kids and their friends and their parents. Like if you didn't show up like that, but it's, you know, about this other situation where it's like maybe she wants to like let the boobies hang out at the rave. Like who doesn't?
It's a fucking rave.
And, and that's kind of where I take some curiosity to the she's in deep denial. Maybe she's just comfortable.
That.
I mean, and she even says 160. I'm pretty sure that was the number in this article that like men were actually fine with women who weighed 160 and they were like underreporting their own attractiveness significantly. So I actually do think that she's being judgy. She wants to do what she wants to do. And like, yeah, the football game was weird, but in the end, AITA for telling my 26F best friend she needs to wear larger clothes. I actually am saying YTA.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I definitely
YTA.
think she could have, if she had come at it this exact scenario, but came at it with more of like concern or just like asking her questions, asking her like, you know, are you really actually comfortable in these clothes? And
that
you know, things like that.
That seems a little demeaning, that question specifically. But that question specifically.
Yeah.
But like, I do think that I have met a lot of people who, I've met people like this where they have this attitude of how people should be. And if you aren't fitting that mold, you need to humbly accept that you're not the way that you should be. You need to bow your head and accept you have failed there and take your lot among the lessers.
Right. Just because it's not what you would do.
Right. And there's something here that doesn't smell right to me that rings of that kind of attitude.
And I was honestly, like I like tight clothes on a woman. I think it's hot. It doesn't matter necessarily.
Hot takes from Danny Vega. Tight clothes are hot.
Yeah, I mean, I might be really into this, you know, and that has any moral matter. In fact, many of you will actively now change what you're wearing now that I've said it. But the point is, she doesn't fucking know. That's just her opinion, and she could be wrong. I had a better point, and I lost it.
Wow, I'm looking at the article or the post right now, and almost everyone is NTA. Here's one that says, "Hi, fat person here. Her internalized fat phobia is putting her in denial of her weight gain. NTA, she could benefit from therapy." Everyone's saying
there's
NTA.
so much projection going on here, and like,
if she had said about the children's football game, like, "Hey, I just want to be honest. Like, I felt uncomfortable with what you wore to a kid's game. I thought it was, for me, it just seemed revealing and it made me uncomfortable." I would be like, "That's clean. That's I'll play
it as it lays on the children's football game." But I'm just wondering about picture painting at this point. Now that
everything
we've
else
this many
is
rocks.
like rave wear.
Yeah, here's another person. NTA, I'm fat, and if something looks stupid on me, I would want my friend to tell me. NTA, she's delusional. Women need to be more honest with their female friends, especially if you truly love and care for the person you're being honest with. I'd be pissed if my friend let me walk around like a tin of busted Pillsbury biscuits.
Okay, that sounds like a dude wrote it. That like,
my goodness.
I don't trust comment sections like this. This is something that can get brigaded
this
super
is like what
easily.
all of them look like.
There doesn't seem to be a lot of acceptance.
Some people are saying NTA, it's your duty as your BFF, like, to be honest. I guess they're kind of looking at it like when you walk around with spinach in your teeth all day. Like, I feel like in that case, it's good to be honest, but it's not really your business.
It's their body, and there's this is all subjective opinions as to how somebody should look. And the more we talk about it, the angrier I'm getting.
Yeah. I mean, I think like...
Yeah, it's strange.
I actually think, Shannon, you're kind of opening my eyes to like, there's no way this is going to play clean if you are a slim person like coming at someone with that. It's going to feel personal and attacking, and it does contain that self-righteousness, Jake, that you're on about. It's like, this is the right way, the way I am doing it.
Yeah,
it's douchey, and it's like, you know, some people like it.
Yeah, let them do their thing.
Let them do what they want. You know, whose business is of yours to dictate?
Yeah, YTA.
So we're saying here, YTA, I think.
Take that comment section. It seems to be a lot of dudes.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people that are saying that they're heavy as well.
We've come to this a lot, and people think that being honest is great. And it's like, well, but I don't think she does. Like, she knows how big her body is. She sees herself like
that in denial part. That's what has had my kind of wee woo sensors up this whole thing.
And this is honestly going into this condescending thing that we've run into in a couple ways that I almost ranted about earlier. This person who said it's her internalized fat phobia. Interesting. So you get to go inside her head and decide that she's fat phobic, even though at the same time the implication is kind of that she's fat.
I feel like I could almost say that OP is internalized fat phobia with like not allowing her friend to wear smaller clothes.
Yeah, gatekeeping what she should and shouldn't be wearing. It's I don't know.
Wow, I cannot believe like literally everyone's saying NTA.
And the bigger thing that I'm talking about is like when, you know, and I know Jake didn't agree with us, Shannon, but when we're talking about the women at the party doing their gender role thing and people saying it's sexist. And I'm like, well, you're saying that from the outside, but you're saying those women are sexist at themselves. I'm like, that's a little weird to me. Like there's something condescending and like holier than thou about telling someone how they're victimizing themselves. Right? Oh, it's her internalized fat phobia because she's fat and that's why she's in denial. It's like, what?
Right. Interesting.
It's pretty condescending.
Moral of the story is women have to put up with so much fucking bullshit.
Ain't it? That's so.
All right, let's wrap this thing up. Here's Shano.
AITA for refusing to have my kids back the night of my ex-husband's wedding to his mistress. Back in January of 2023, I received an email from my ex-husband asking if I could have the children for the day on the 1st of September until 7:30 p.m. for a family event. I agreed, no problem. However, a few weeks ago, I was running late for our scheduled times and the children were late returning back to him. And he refused to take them back and said I had to return them the next morning as 7:30 p.m. was too late to drop them off. I was annoyed as I had work, but fine. Yesterday, I got a message asking if I could pick the children up from a certain hotel on Friday. I agreed. It's not far and it's not an issue. I found out the family event is, in fact, his wedding through the grapevine. I don't want to collect the children. In fact, I don't want them back that Friday at all. I would have completely been blindsided. I've told him I'm not having the children back now and I'll happily collect them Saturday. Well, of course, he hit the roof saying that I'm going back on my word. AITA for not wanting the children back. By the way, he had an affair with this woman and absolutely treated me terribly after I found out. And I've always backed down to him for an easy life, but I don't see why I should on this occasion.
Okay, just to get our facts straight, I'm a little confused about what. So this first incident was a few weeks ago. I was running late for our scheduled times, and the children were late returning back to him.
Yes.
He refused to take them back and said I had to return them the next morning as 7:30 p.m. was too late to drop them off.
Yeah. So basically he was being like difficult about their drop off situations because it wasn't the right timing. So he kind of like punished her a little bit.
Got it.
So now she's saying, well, now, you need a favor from me.
Which is picking them up at the hotel instead of his residence.
At the hotel that the wedding is happening.
Right.
And this is the wedding of the mistress that cheated on.
It's also wild to present your wedding to your mistress as a family event as opposed to just being like, hey, we're getting married. Can you do this? But he knew that he probably wouldn't get the favor from her. And if he had framed it like that.
Right. And apparently he treated her shit after she found out he was cheating on her.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you are going to cheat and marry your mistress, you better at least run a clean
operation after the fact.
Why would you at that point, I guess, but to be difficult as well, like don't spite the mother of your children, bro. Like, what are you doing?
And the kids are invited to the wedding, right? She's not taking them for the whole thing.
Sounds like they're getting pulled right before the reception.
Yeah, they probably are there for like the ceremony.
And isn't that convenient for him? So now she's like causing him an inconvenience. But I'm like, well, yeah, man, like you should be transparent about this.
Yeah, and also, be a little bit more flexible as well. And there's like little mishaps that happen in your everyday life so that when you need a favor, you're more inclined to get it.
Yeah, like to be fair now, I don't want to, not in defense of this guy or anything, but it is very hard to have grace and be patient when you're a giant piece of flaming shit.
That's true. So that's true. I think the other thing is here too, it's like, okay, if you're going to do all this horrible stuff, like it is pretty common sense. Like, don't make her pick them up at the wedding venue.
That's intentional cruelty.
Anyone else.
That's intentional cruelty.
Right.
He's trying to make her feel
it's
shitty.
Sociopathic. Like, and obviously, look, and I guess you don't have to be transparent and tell every little thing, but like, she's gonna be blindsided. Like, come on, dog. You think this is gonna have an emotional impact?
I know.
It's monstrous.
Why would you even want your ex to even be anywhere near your wedding anyway?
To hurt
not
her.
only for,
I think
no, and that's why that he wanted her to get blindsided when he picked them up because this dude is a fucking monster. He tried, like he wanted her to pick them up, but not have any idea that it was the wedding. So she would have figured that out at the time, and then she would have had to have processed that while being alone with her children.
Top comment on Reddit.
Yeah.
ESH. Stop using your children as pawns in your miserable little games. Both of you just stop. I think that's ridiculous. I think the reality is that my read of this is she is in one fell swoop here learning. Maybe it's Tuesday, right? Yesterday I got a message asking if I could pick the children up on Friday. So she just learned that he's getting married to the mistress. And now he wants her to deal with that emotionally and then to pick them up and deal with this logistical problem. I'm like, you were setting a cruelty trap. I think you needed to be like a little bit in front of this. Obviously, that's going to land as a blow.
calling this guy a devil is an insult to the devil. So I
thank you, Jake.
Wow, that's your voice, Satan?
Yeah, I know. Why do you think I'm a dick? I'm insecure.
He's a Muppet.
I'm a little Muppet boy.
Oh, yeah, I fucking hate this dude.
A lot of people are going ESH.
Yeah.
I don't think this is tit for tat because I think like you're marrying the mistress. Like that's fucking a huge fuck you. That's not the same as her situation, which is she's being like, I can't handle this
Honestly,
emotionally.
I think it would be messed up even if he had her pick up the kids from the wedding of a new woman that he met years after their divorce. I still think this would be
Insulate.
pretty like,
Yeah, it's like show some consideration and respect.
Find somebody else to pick them up from the wedding and drive them to, you like literally hire someone if all of your friends and family are at the wedding and you can't find anyone to do it.
Cruel, ineffective people understand that the only way that they can be certain that they will stick with others for the rest of their life is by harming them. And that is what is happening here. He is afraid to lose anyone because he knows ultimately he will be alone. And the only way he can prevent that in his mind is by leaving enough scars that he is sure all of these people will curse him until their dying breath. And Buster, I really hope you find that lonely solitude you are begging for very quickly. Go fuck yourself.
Some people are calling this a knee-jerk reaction. I think she's having a knee-jerk reaction, but like, this is not.
Because she's being tormented.
I don't think
by an abuser.
I don't think she's wrong for saying no.
Perfectly normal for you to be mad for multiple days, weeks, possibly even months over the fact that your ex-husband is marrying the mistress. Like that carries a lot of weight. That's not a little thing.
And he treated her like shit after she found out about it. The audacity of this bitch. Like it's.
Yeah, exactly. So many red flags. This guy sucks.
I think Reddit really missed the mark on this. It's an ESH fest in there.
I cannot see where she's wrong at all.
God.
Like, I guess just being spiteful or not picking them up, but she has no reason to do this guy any fucking favors.
Well,
it's your night. You figure out how to get the kids to my house. Because it sounds like this was supposed to be her night.
She said, I've told him I'm not having the children back now and I'll happily collect them Saturday. Oh, yeah. So it sounds like he was asking for a wiggle room.
Yeah. And
she's not giving the wiggle.
Give her any wiggle room the week before or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she could endanger her custody agreement or whatever by like, moving things around. But I'm like, this is a brutal thing to do to someone. Like she's going to be emotionally wrecked.
And he
wrecked.
He knew that.
He knows. Like I have nothing but sympathy from her. It's absolutely your duty to orchestrate a kind and humane treatment of your partner should you remarry. That's obviously going to affect them.
I hope when he cheats on this new mistress wife of his, inevitably, because he's going to, I hope that there is syphilis involved. There we go. That is my verdict.
It's trivially curable these days, but AITA For refusing to have my kids back the night of my ex-husband's wedding to his mistress. We're pushing on Reddit here. We're saying it's NTA and he is.
Yeah, big one. Toxic comment sections in my Reddit. I never thought I'd see the day.
Who would have thought? All right, guys, that's the show. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.